Hi, Billy Upperhart here, author of Money Mastery, where we talk about making sense of making money for making a difference. And today I want to pick up with a vlog that I had done previously and pick up with the second half of it. We're talking about tips for how to read a book. In fact, I brought my own book here today so you can see it, Money Mastery. You can see it's kind of thick, got a few pages in it, and a lot of diagrams, a lot of chapter summaries. And so how do you pick up a book and get started? First of all, to even find out if you even want to read it. Well, we give you a couple of 7 quick things that'll help you. And we've talked about the first 3 already, but I just want to review them briefly. One is to discriminate. That just simply means know what information you're looking for. In other words, have an understanding of what you're feeling led to be reading at the time. So you have to discriminate. Then secondly, you investigate. Just basically you look at the book, you look at the title, read the back cover, and you do the things just to see if it actually fits what it is you're looking for and kind of what information you feel like you need to take you further in the next steps in your life. And then the third one is concentrate, which we've also covered. And what we mean by that, it's not like reading a novel where you can just kind of mindlessly read it. It means you've got to focus and really look for the truths and information that you know the author is trying to get to you. And then starting new in the next steps is to investigate and then concentrate. And then the new step is to integrate. And the way I like to talk about it when I talk about integrate is what in the book stands out at you. Now, I always read, if I'm reading a paper book as opposed to, say, a book in my iPad, I always read it with a pen. Now, some people will tell you, don't read it with a pen the first time. Just peruse through it the first time to get a feel of what the book's back, and then pick up a pen the second time. I like to do it the first time because reading a good book to me, especially where I'm really trying to integrate things in my life, is like eating a good meal. I want to have a good fork and a good knife, and that's what I do with my pen. I go through and I underline, I mark, and I make notes in the margins of the book. And so the whole idea is to really write down what you especially want to remember. And even there are some things you'll take over to your journal. If you keep a journal, if you don't keep a journal, you probably should keep a journal. And you integrate those things and you put them in there. And sometimes I even put them in my prayer list, what I'm praying, because they stand out to me. Let's say they really hit me in a way that makes me really want to think and think provocatively about the subject, so I pray about it. So when I'm looking at a book, I definitely want to make sure that I'm integrating the truths. And then, of course, next comes assimilate, and that means that I want to actually take action on the points that stand out to me. It's like putting in practice. I remember several years ago, I went and took golf lessons, and in the process of trying to take those golf lessons, the good news, the golf coach was right there with me, and we would see it on a camera. And what was amazing about it is what I thought I was doing, say for example in golf swing, in my backswing, what my mind was telling me was totally different than what the camera was showing, totally different than what the coach was telling me. The coach was trying to tell me the same thing the camera was telling me, but until I put the two together, it was impossible for me to assimilate. You do the same thing when you're reading information that will change your life, especially in the area of money, finance, business, that kind of thing, which we like to talk about a lot here, real estate investing, whatever it is. The only way that you can assimilate it is get in the game and begin to apply what you're learning that you're reading, begin to use it, and then see what comes back out of you or back to you that you're beginning to apply. So it's just a huge revelation to understand how to assimilate good information into your life, bring it into the game with you so you can be successful. And then next is articulate. And I like to say it this way, tell somebody else about what you're learning. In fact, one of the quickest ways to learn information is to actually have to teach it, to share it, because you have to be able to understand it to be able to articulate it. And so it's important that you learn to tell someone else. So articulate what you've been hearing and what you've been learning that you've been reading. And then lastly, I call it resuscitate. And this is when you go back to the book and you pick it up. And I always say the really good books that impact your life, you need to read them once a year. They're not just a one-time read and you put down, but you go back and you read those books at least once a year. So remember, it's an old cliche that's been around a long time, but leaders are readers. And so what happens is the more information that you get in you, the better you can learn, grow, and become what God wants you to be. So I really want to encourage you to be a reader and also a listener. There's a lot of quality audio programs that are out there you can listen to during your commute in a car or in other places. And so I'll be constantly feeding yourself, putting information into you so you can learn, grow, and change and become all that God wants you to be. So thanks for taking the time to watch the vlog on how to read a book. I hope this has helped you, and we'll look forward to seeing you again right here.